music lovers, it's Catherine Beeks with Listen Local with another edition of Here, September 2024. And I'm super excited to introduce you to my longtime friends. And I'm a huge fan of this band, WOOKIE GARCIA. And today we have, representing the band, we have Kyle and Brian. Welcome to the show, boys.
Yay. Thanks, Catherine. Thank you, Catherine. Thanks for having us.
So, who are we missing from the band?
Well, we are missing Mark Tucker, who is our bass player, and we are missing Neil Anders Matthews, who is our drummer. Could not be present, unfortunately.
That's all right. We will give them a pass. How long have you guys all been together?
Neil is actually the new guy in the band. He joined, I want to say, in 22. The pandemic obviously was a challenging time for everyone, and it was an interesting time for us because we did play with several different drummers during that time. And Neil was the one that stuck with the band. So he's still the new guy, and he's treated as such, but he loves it. And Mark, we have played with going way back through Hatfield Rain. Kyle played with him, and back into Usual Suspects. We've played with Mark on bass guitar since the early 90s.
That's incredible. How do you keep a band together for that long? Any advice?
I'd say probably a lot of guys, don't have great prospects, and so they kind of stick with what they know.
And you and Kyle are related, is that correct?
We are related by marriage. Yes, Kyle is my brother-in-law. So
awesome.
he and I pretty much have to stick together because otherwise those family gatherings would be kind
very
of
uncomfortable iffy at Thanksgiving if you guys
exactly. You don't have a choice anymore.
And what part of town do you hail from?
We are in Chula Vista. Kyle and I both were raised in Chula Vista, and I've lived there almost my entire life.
Nice, amazing. Okay, so you have a brand new album out, 4 Days in the Valley. Well, not brand new. When did you release it?
I think it was Black Friday. I think it was the day after Easter is when it was released.
Okay.
And I'll let Kyle speak to the specifics of how we came to record it and where we came to record it.
Kyle, take it away.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, we've recorded, this is our third record. So our first record actually recorded years ago. I think 2012. We had a friend that worked up at Schnee Studios. We went up there and recorded that album. The second record, our same friend who's an engineer, worked at Capitol. We recorded that one actually at Capitol Records. And then this record was really interesting in that we have a longtime friend, keyboard player, who happens to play keyboards with the Foo Fighters, but he's played on our record since the first record, actually. So we were looking for someone to record. We were looking for someone to produce the record. And I reached out to him, and he took it on. So I thought originally we were going to go up to his studio, which is up in LA, which we've done overdubs with. But he said, all my gear's over at the Foo studio. Why don't you join us at the Foo studio? So we went over to 606. I said the same thing. I was like, sure. So we played, in that famous studio with that famous board from Sound City. I played Dave's guitars. Mark played a couple of their basses. We played the kit that Ronnie owns. That's for Matt Chamberlain. It's been on so many records. We hung out there for 4 days, tracking original, all the basic tracks, and then we did a lot of overdubs. We were pretty prepared going in. We crashed out at Rami's house, so we stayed over there, and his neighbor across the street is Pete Thomas, which was pretty cool, from Traction's drummer.
Wow.
Mark spotted him one day and outside, and we went over and talked to him, and he brought us in the house and gave us a tour of his home and his studio. And
oh my God,
it was quite the experience. We were hanging out with celebrities all for those several days. That was around, close to Valentine's Day last year. So anyway, no, it was an awesome studio experience. We did overdubs down here for backing vocals and some other little guitar things. Not too much down here, but we did it over at the studio you record over there, and then over at Mike Camus' place, Earthling.
Mm-hmm.
We did stuff there. So, and then we mixed it all. They mixed it all up there. And yeah, just overall a great experience. It was just a
Incredible.
blast. So, yeah, something to tell my grandkids.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. And then you've already produced a few music videos for a couple of the singles from the collection. Is that right?
Yeah, we have. My daughter, who went to film school up there at Orange County, I just graduated. I put her to work. She's a screenwriting. She was a screenwriting major, so just very talented, comes up with great ideas. And yeah, we put a couple videos together. One filmed near Brian's house there, the HOA man, and then another one where the trees reach the sky was filmed in Brian's and my neck of the woods over by the high school that we went to, and it's a sort of song based on Tom Waits, who lived over there and at corner of Hilltop and I. So
Amazing.
we wrote a song for that, and then we created a video sort of around that theme.
Well, we are lucky enough to get to preview those videos. We're just gonna give you a little glimpse so my listeners can go and then find them elsewhere. Let's start with HOA Man. Let's play that now.
Love it.
Across my lawn, like you mean business at the crack of dawn. Found the tiny speck of dirt. Now you complain that your feelings are hurt. What's that plant? Why's it there? I got my book. Better beware. How's your house? That's new paint. Lots of colors you can have, but that ain't. Late at night,
That's incredible. Your daughter is amazing.
Thank you.
That was all of her ideas, and you guys just followed suit.
Pretty much, she put the whole script together, staged it, and everything else. Told us where to go, what to do. She did a great job. I was really proud of her.
Super cool. All right, we're gonna also watch Where the Trees Reach the Sky, but before we do, let's talk about some live shows. Do you have stuff coming up in September, October? What does your fall and winter schedule look like?
Our next show coming up is at First Street Bar in Encinitas. That's going to be on Saturday night, October the 12th.
Okay.
So that's from starting at 7:30, and it's a happening place and a happening part of the town up there, and it's a little bit of a road trip for us. We pack a lunch when we drive up there, but we played up there before, and it's really cool. I mean, they let original bands play on a Friday and a Saturday, and then they just get us out of there by 9:30 so that we can make way for the DJ. So then the kids all come in and dance. So
that's right.
It's a win-win for everybody.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's what we've got scheduled now, and then hopefully more to come besides that.
Yeah, groovy. I'm a big fan of First Street Bar. That's such a groovy little place. And like you said, a lot of nightlife, people out walking the street, a lot of tourists as well.
Absolutely.
It's a great place to play. And then if folks want to find you and find where all of your music is, maybe book you, do you have a website? How do you communicate with the world?
We have the website, and that is kind of the hub where everything else moves off of. So it's wookiegarcia.com. Couldn't be any more simple than that. They can link to Facebook, they can link to Instagram, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple, whatever people want to use to listen to music. We are fine with them coming to visit us on those channels. Stuff like Spotify, we actually have gone in there and actually kind of personalized the experience a little bit. We do have some content that's on there, little bio content and pictures and stuff like that. We haven't had a chance to do that for all the streaming services because there's so many of them. But yeah, that's the best place really to go. I mean, that's where I go. I mean, I'm just as opposed as any other artist as to people playing our stuff for free, but they do get to hear it, and hopefully that can start an otherwise professional relationship.
That's right. And you do all that yourself. How did you learn how to do all that stuff on Spotify?
I learned just by practicing and just by digging in and searching how to do stuff. I've always been interested in some of the background stuff that a band does, and particularly songwriters do, things like the royalties and copyright things, and ASCAP and that type of stuff. So we've done that going back from when we first started releasing music, which was in the late 80s.
Wow.
So yeah, we've always done that. And then when Wookie Garcia started, we probably about 2010, we started the website. We use a service that's called Bandzoogle. Mm-hmm. If I can give them a little plug, it's a really good deal for artists and any kind of music, any kind of type of musician. They have all sorts of different templates that you use, and we work hard at it. Neil now being the newest guy, he's also the youngest guy in the band, so he's a lot more connected to social media and things that are technical than I am. So he is a great big help, keeping things looking fresh and not too stodgy and old.
Got to have that young energy in the band. Mm-hmm. That helps. All right, and Kyle, what Wookie Garcia? What is that? What does your name mean?
What does it mean? I think my dog's trying to explain it. I can hear her barking back there. Well, it's a kind of an interesting story. I don't know too many people know it, but I'll reveal it here if that's okay, Brian.
That is totally fine.
Well, my son, he just turned 21, but when he was about, gosh, I don't know, 4 years old or so, he had a kind of group of pretend friends, and he'd walk around the house, playing out little plays with them and so forth. And one guy was named Wookie Garcia, and at the time he was a big Padres fan. He still is, so I'm sure there was a Garcia on the team at the time. And of course, he was a big Star Wars fan, so he watched a lot of those. So somehow, Wookie Garcia just sounded pretpretty interesting. I brought that up with the guys in the band, and yeah, they loved it. Especially Mark, who was always looking for something interesting in a band name.
That is amazing. I love it. Fantastic.
It's really funny, Catherine, because people think that it's a reference to Jerry Garcia and it's some sort of Grateful Dead hidden message. And if people want to believe that, they're welcome to.
But you guys aren't psychedelic music. What kind of music? What would you describe your style as?
Don't just jump at it, guys. Somebody say something. We are a straightforward rock and roll band.
Yeah.
That's the music that we like best. It's what we've listened to before we were in a band. There's so many different, again, kind of like different sounds that hub away from just a basic rock and roll sound. And if you wanted to go to our band and say one band that all of us like a lot, that would be a band like Wilco.
Yeah.
But you know, a lot of people aren't really hip to who Wilco is and who Uncle Tupelo is and stuff like that. So we would say Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers because that's great American rock and roll music. I notice above my head is there's a couple of albums up on the wall there, and one of them is Bruce Springsteen, Darkness on the Edge of Town. So, I mean, I'm a huge Bruce fan, more so than anybody else in the band. But you know, Kyle can tell you other things that he really likes, and you know, I think one of the great things about being an original band and getting to write songs is, you know, when we were first starting out, I would listen to what I really liked and I would listen to what I do, and I said, you know, I'm really not that good yet. And nowadays, when I listen to what we do, I like to play it on playlists with the music that I love the most, and I think it fits in kind of okay.
Absolutely. 100%. I've always been a huge fan of you guys, and those influences are always uh, the thought that I had of what, you know, you guys, if you were to be compared to a national band, those are definitely some of the ones that I would think of. So very cool. All right, tell me about Where the Trees Reach the Sky.
Kyle?
Sure. Yeah, I wrote the lyric for that. That's a pretty interesting story. I'll try not to go on too long about it, but I go to these mid 80s class reunions all the time here in with my high school class and other kids from the 80s. And there was one particular guy that is always there, and he works at a nursing home here in Chula Vista, and he was actually the caregiver for Tom Waits's mom. And so Tom would come and visit and talk to, you know, my friend Frank, and just tell crazy stories. But one of the interesting stories that he told, and there's several stories kind of embedded in the lyrics to the song, but where the chorus sort of comes from is that one of the interesting stories that he did tell was that you know, he lived on this street over here in Chula Vista and for many years, and you know, when he had moved out and was on his own and so forth, you know, the house was sold, but he always would drive by, and somehow he got wind of that the new owners were going to take these trees down that were out in front of the house, and apparently him and his stepfather had planted those trees, and these trees are now, you know, 30-40 feet tall, big Canary Islands, just big trees that are out there. So when he got wind of that, you know, he was pretty attached to those trees, and he reached out to the homeowners and said, I'll tell you what, if you don't take the trees out, I'll pay the water bill for them, you know, just to keep them alive. And you know, what better material is that for a song? So, you know, that became the chorus. And then there are a couple, you know, there's a few verses in there that, you know, kind of speak to, you know, there's one verse in there about him coming and playing for the people there at the nursing home and just the reaction that he got. I can't remember what the other verse is, but anyway, it just made for the greatest story. And so somehow I put it all together, and there you go, where the trees reach the sky, a hilltop and I.
Incredible.
So we tried to build, you know, from the video you see, you know, we tried to kind of build it around that to somewhat of a, you know, scene. And my son plays sort of a young Tom Waits in it, and my daughter, you know, did the writing of it, and friends of ours did the actual camera work. But it was definitely a family affair. We had a great time.
Amazing. Well, we're going to play the entire video, and we're going to go out with that. Before we do, anything else you guys want to share or that we didn't cover?
The only thing I'd like to add is thank you, Catherine, for all the things that you do. I can think of all these different things. We've been played on the radio because of you. We've been on Listen Local many times. We play one of the greatest shows this band has ever played, which was the House of Blues. That was courtesy of you. So we want to thank Catherine Beeks for all that you do for the music scene in San Diego.
That's for sure. And we love your music. We love what you do to support local music here. And no, it's just great knowing you all these years. And thank you for everything.
I feel the same way, guys. Thank you so much. Okay, don't miss the show at First Street Bar and Grill in October. What was that date again?
It is October 12th.
October 12th. Beautiful time of the year, perfect fall evening. Bring your friends, get yourself to Encinitas and enjoy this band. And pick up the newest album, 4 Days in the Valley, WOOKIE GARCIA, anywhere on the internet. You will find them. They are hip, they are up to date, and they are amazing. Here is Where the Trees Reach the Sky, and thank you all so much.
Tommy was a kid from a school of making a scene. Ukulele on his back, always humming a blues melody. Most of the kids didn't like him 'cause he didn't act a bit like them. Creating atmospheric portraits of grotesque and city places he's been. Hilltop and I, where the trees reach the sky. Oh, memories inside, baby blues to keep them alive. Now I hear he came to visit every month when his mom was alive. In the lobby singing songs, Singapore on a Saturday night. But no one seemed to listen, they just smiled, wasn't sure who it was. Kept his thoughts in a notebook that he carried as he walked down the hall. A house, a hilltop and I, where the trees reach the sky. Oh, memories inside, baby blues, keep them alive. Every day I drive a street and pass a house with the heavenly trees. I've seen a boy with his father in the yard and they're sweeping up leaves. To think about all the water that's been used to allow them to thrive. And all the years that have passed and the memories kept alive. A house, a hilltop and I, where the trees reach the sky. Oh, memories inside, baby blues to keep them
It's the Listen Local radio show here in San Diego. ListenLocalRadio.com. 24/7, you can turn us on. Listen to it now, come on.